Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing For Honor beta on the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam since it's not currently working with this game due to the easy anti-cheat, so I'll be using MSI Afterburner instead. So For Honor closed beta, I'll do 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip down to those sections of the video, check the description below. So for 1080p I'm going to be using a mix between medium, high and very high, depends on each option. I'll explain most of the options in a couple minutes from now, but I was able to hit 60 frames per second no problem. There are some drops every now and then below 60, but the game is totally playable, very responsive. But if you crank it up to the maximum, you'll be dropping below 60 frames per second. If you don't care about that, just crank up the settings. But I had to disable dynamic reflections for 1080p since it was a big FPS hit. Then on 900p and 720p it was much easier to hit 60 frames per second, so I cranked up the settings a little bit compared to 1080p. And finally at 1440p I used pretty much low settings, and I was between 45 and 65 frames per second, which was pretty impressive actually. Then I just targeted 30 frames per second, so that means that I cranked up the settings, trying to stay over 30 frames per second. So now I'll talk about some of the graphics options and what is missing from the options menu, so you can tweak it more yourself. So for the graphics options menu, the important settings you should care about: first, anti-aliasing, we have off, FXAA, SMAA and TAA. I suggest using FXAA if you're having performance issues with the other ones. TAA was the most demanding one from the three of them. Then geometric detail was a smaller FPS boost, but I suggest using high or below. So for texture quality I use high, even the 2GB graphics cards were able to use that no problem. Then dynamic shadows, this is a very demanding setting. If you have, I don't know, a 750 Ti, I suggest using low dynamic shadows, since from medium to low there's like a 10 FPS hit, which is quite significant. If you have a, I don't know, a 1050 Ti, maybe high is the best option. Then for environmental detail I suggest using medium, since on high you have displacement mapping, so that will be a big FPS hit on older cards too. So medium doesn't look bad at all, so I suggest using that. You will have grass. It won't be the highest quality, but it will look good enough. Then for ambient occlusion we've got off, HBAO plus and MHBAO, which I was kind of disappointed here. I was expecting to have SSAO2 or something like that, or SSBC like the other Ubisoft games, but it wasn't there. We only have HBAO plus and MHBAO. If you have an NVIDIA card, HBAO plus is a better option. I suggest turning this off. It's like a 10 FPS hit. Personally, I don't think it's worth it if you are below 60 frames per second. Then we have dynamic reflections. This is a very demanding setting. On the 1050 Ti, for example, I was only able to use it if I play at 900p or below that. And for lower end cards like the 750 Ti, I had to turn it off even at 720p. And finally, we have super sampling anti-aliasing, which is a very demanding anti-aliasing option. I suggest using this if you have a very powerful GPU, a GTX 1060, or you want to play at 720p or 900p, enable super sampling anti-aliasing and you'll be fine. But one thing I found missing in this options menu is the temporal filtering that most Ubisoft games had. This one doesn't have it. I don't know what's up with that. It was a great FPS boost on all the games I tested that at. So here it's missing. Maybe in the final game they will add it, but it's nowhere to be found. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
You lost his own seat. You captured Zone A. Zone A. You captured Zone C. You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C. You captured Zone A. You lost Zone C. You lost Zone A. You captured Zone C.
The enemy has claimed your partner! The enemy has claimed your partner!
You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C. You captured Zone A. lost Zone C. You lost Zone A. You captured Zone C. Zone A.
Har gjort jämfot navi!
You lost Zone A. You lost Zone C.
The enemy has...
You captured Zone C. You lost Zone A. You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C. lost Zone C. You captured Zone A.
Would have been in trouble without you.
You captured Zone C. You captured Zone C. You captured Zone A. You lost Zone C.
Cover your friend.
You lost Zone A. You captured Zone A. You captured Zone C. You lost Zone A. You captured Zone A.